So we were doing on that day, we were trying to, we were trying to create different CSS, SCSS file and SCSS. So let's try to go through that exercise again.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah, what happened?
Oh,
You.
you, I just mute myself, but I'm not aware that.
Okay.
So just open the mic. Oh,
Okay, okay. So I was thinking what happened, maybe your mic was not working. So I created one e4.css file with only CSS one. Then I created e5 with some CSS, SCSS property. Then I created this one, e6, and I imported this CSS file, and then I imported SCSS file, and I put some my custom CSS thing. Now when this e6.scss file will be converted into e6.css, it will be all be CSS code. There will be no code related to SCSS file because ultimate is a CSS file. So let's see how this is getting converted into CSS file. So this HTML part is same as you see here, and this e5.scss, this e5.scss will be converted into CSS and it will be here. And third part is importing e4.css. Whenever we try to import the CSS file, it will not copy the code inside here. It will convert it into the normal import in the CSS. This line of the code is the normal CSS line. We generally import one file into another file in the CSS using this command already. We are doing this since long, since the when the CSS came into the existence. We are doing this line already in the CSS. So it is not new thing. So whenever we want to add one CSS into another CSS file, we just say add import and we give the URL and the URL of this file. So to demonstrate that it is already there, I will show you in Dreamweaver. Let's say if I have two CSS files, let's say if I have x1.css, x1.css, I will put some tag. Let's say I will say body, and here I will say color blue. Now I have another file called as x2.css. So, so it will be also having some code. For example, h1 color red. So if I want to use h2 in the x1, I can use the same command which here it is used. I can say import URL x1 x2.css. So whenever I say this import x2.css, import URL x2.css, all the code of x2 will come here in this file and I can use that one. So this is the normal CSS line of the code. So since this is E6 is getting converted to E6.css, so it's keeping the CSS in this format only. It is not taking the code inside it and putting it here. But for all others, it is taking the code and converting into a normal CSS. Is this clear?
yep.
Any questions? Okay, now we will see how to do the less. Let's do the less kind of thing. So initially, first we need to install the less on our system. So to install the less in our system, we will go to the command line. And in the command line, we will see if less is already there or not. So less, to use the less, it is less C, and I'll say -V. Okay, here it is not saying allowing it. Let me open this one, git bash. let's see minus v. Okay, so it's not really installed. So we need to install the less in our system. Let's use the command line only. So I installed it on my Mac. I thought I installed it here. So let's install the less. First I'll see npm is installed or not. npm is installed. So I will say npm install -g less. I have to say -g less. This is the first command I have to run. So this will install the less in our system, in our computer. I am putting this code in the chat. So once this is done, I will run. If you are in the Mac, you have to write sudo. You have to write sudo npm install -g less. But in Windows, only npm install -g less is fine. Now let's see -v. Once I say let's see -v, it is showing some version. That means less is in my computer. The next step is you have to say let's see -v to see the version of the less. Now let's try to convert one of the less file into the CSS file. So I will create one less file here. I will create one file called as styles.less. Let's create style.less file. Right now I'm not putting any less code. I'm just putting CSS files, CSS code, color red. I need to show you how to run the less to CSS, and then I'll go to the command line. Let's go here. I am opening the command line directly in the folder where I am, project 1. So I'll open this folder in the command line. Maybe I can git bash here. I can use in git bash also. It's okay, one and the same thing. Let's see if less is there. Yeah, less is there. So now what I will do, I will run the command less c styles.less. I'm giving the name of the less file, and I will convert into styles.css. So once I say style.css, you will see style.css is created from the less file. Less is body color red, and we have body color red in the less. So this is how we do in the less. In sass we have too many commands, but in less we have only one command like this. There may be other commands in the advanced, but I have seen this command only. Generally, we don't really run this command. It is done in the server automatically in the companies. So only for our practice, we can use this one to convert from less to CSS, and then we can include CSS in our HTML page. And this is the way which we do in the less. Now let's try to see what are the things in the less. So in the sass, we created the variables using the $sign. So I was able to create variables using $sign. For example, color 1 colon be red. I was creating like that in the sass. But how to do same thing in the less? In the less, dollar is replaced by @sign. Dollar is replaced by @sign, and rest is everything same. Now if I want to use this red, I will say dollar $color 1. So instead of dollar, I will use the @sign, and then again I will run this command. Once I run this command, you can see style.css is with the red because I use the same one. Let's try to change it. Okay, let's try to change that one. So this is my style. This is close this. Close this. Now here, let's say instead of red, I will put blue, and I will run the command again. You will see this is converted into blue. And so there is difference in the lace and sass. What is the difference? Sass start with $sign, lace start with the @ sign. This is the only difference. Next thing we did nesting. So nesting is same. So if I want to, if inside body we have h1 tag, inside h1 tag if we have p tag, and here I can say color gray, and here I can say color white, and I want to convert this into the CSS. I will use the same command, and it will be, so body h1 is white, body h1p is gray. So nesting is same as we do in the sass. There is no difference in the nesting, only the variables is different. Next thing we did the mixins. So in sass we did two types of common code. One was we did mixin, and then another one was we did extend, right? We were extending the current one. But in the lace, we have only one type of mixin, and that mixin is kind of extension. So if I create one class, for example, box1, and inside box1, I will say border 1 pixel solid blue. This is something I created one style sheet. Now I want to use this style sheet in another one. So for example, I want to use this in the h1 tag. I will put box1 only, like this, dot box1. When I say dot box1, all the code which is present inside this curly bracket will be appeared here, and I can use border in this h1 tag. So if I run this one, so you will see, okay, it's not appearing here. Let's see what happened. It's not coming here. It should come here. Let's see why. I didn't save it. Okay, now it's coming here. So whatever I put in the box one, I'm able to get this thing here. Is that clear? Part.
Yes. Yes.
So we have three things in the lace. What we did, one was variables. So if I want to compare with the sass with the lace, here lace is sass. Okay, let's make the tabular structure. Okay, so here I will say sass, and here lace, and let me put one more parameter. So first is the variable creation. So sass use the $sign, and let's use @sign. Rest everything is same in between both the thing. Okay, what next thing we did? Okay, let's do the nesting. So for the nesting, I let me open the sass file which we did. Okay. So nesting is same in both the things. So I can say body tag, and inside body tag I can put H1 tag, for example. Similarly, I can do it here also. I will do body tag and I can do H1 tag here. And let me open the one more example for the mixins. 1 second. Let me open the example for the mixins. So, Kate, what happened to your interview?
Huh? The
What
interview?
happened? Yeah, not good.
Mm, oh, you mean the at the model that one?
Yeah, both the place you gave 2 places, right?
Yes. The other one is waiting for the the interview time, the date. So they
Right.
haven't given me notification. And the at the model one, I think because I think I feel not good, but and
Okay.
they also didn't give me any notice yet.
They did not tell you anything, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, because the whiteboard, there are two persons interview
Mhm.
me that day. The first
Right.
person is like kind of generally questions. The second person is like very detailed,
Right.
technical.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah,
So,
okay.
okay. Okay. No, no worry.
I'll
You
let you
just go
know if
on give.
I
Yeah.
got
Try
some
to
result.
right. Try to go on giving interview, and sometime you will succeed.
Yes.
I got one in email yesterday, few days back, that there's a React position, remote work. I was thinking I should tell you and you do that one. I'll find that email and you can try. So it's a remote, so you can give the interview on phone, and that will be little easy for you.
Easy. Okay.
Yeah, because you don't meet face to face, so sometimes you
Yeah.
get clear easily.
It's hard. Yeah.
Okay, so next thing we did the nesting part, and next thing we will do mixins. So in the list, we just now see mixins. How we do mixins? We create box 1, for example, with some parameter. And if I want to use box 2 and box 1 inside the box 2, I will put box 1 directly. And I can use that box 1 here in the box 2. So all the properties of the box 1 will come here. So in the sass we create the mixin with the name like this. Mixin name curly bracket start and end. And then, for example, one of the example is like this. We created a mixin with CSS properties, and we put some properties here. And if I want to use this mixin in the box 1, for example, I will call this property mixin by using the include CSS properties. It will call this all the 3 codes inside this box 1. So this is how we did the mixin kind of thing in the sass. And we also did inheritance, right? Inheritance. Let me show you the example of that one. Okay. And did I show you inheritance in the SAS? Do you remember?
Which one?
Inheritance in the SAS. Did I show you that one? No, nothing, right?
I don't
Okay.
remember.
Yeah, let me see what we did in the SAS. I remember I showed this extend. Yeah, I one extend I showed you. Extend the thing which I was talking about. Okay, so extend the same thing which we use in the list. We create this one and we if I want to use this class or this selector, and I will use extend to use this one. Whereas in the less, I just put it dot message and all the things here will come here. But in SAS, we need to use extend and then only it will come in the thing. So if I have, so let's say box 1 and I want to use box 1 in box 2, I will use extend dot box 1 and all the code of box 1 will come inside here. Whereas in the less, box 1 directly comes into the box 2 by just saying dot box 1. Here I use extend to include this box 1. Got it? So if you do this regularly, you will remember it. If you just just read in the class, then you will forget after a few days. Is that clear? All these differences?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we did the project of life reminder, you remember? And in that one, we did one CSS. We created this style.css and we put a lot of Jumbotron code, H1, H2 code, and this one. So I will give you one task for the home. You have to build a style.scss file using this one, but you have to use all the three things. One variable, you will use $sign, then you will use nesting. So let's say if I have Jumbotron H1, how will I write in the SAS? I will say Jumbotron and I will inside I will write the H1. It's called nesting. Instead of this one directly, I will use this one in the SAS file. That's called the nesting. So you have to use the nesting and you have to use mixins. So if you see some common code, for example, this code, if you see common, which is another is common code. Let's see. Background color. Yeah, this background color is here also and it's here also. So this is this you can use variable also here, but you can take this background color and put it in mixin using this mixin property like this, and then you can call this mixin property directly using the include. So your task is to convert this style.css into SAS file. Okay, will you be able to do that?
Yes, we'll try.
Yeah, I'll try.
Okay, so try and tomorrow I'll check that one. And day after tomorrow do it in the list. So tomorrow only do it in the SAS file and show it to me. And day after tomorrow do it in the list. It's same, only thing you need to difference between this is @ sign and here directly you have to call this. And you have to use only these three types of properties. Don't use any other property. There are a lot of advanced things also which we don't generally use it, and maybe I will show you those methods after few months, not now, because these three are only really needed for interview purpose also and for practical purpose also. There are advanced concepts which we don't use practically, but we will see those after a few months, not now.